Okay, so let's wrap up this first month of the 2024 Pantry Challenge. This is the Three Rivers Challenge hosted by Jessica over at Three Rivers Homestead. I took on the challenge for 2 months, and I'm going to continue to do that, but I am only going to stick to these weekly postings of the meals. This is going to be the last one of those. Now, at the end of February, or if in the interim I find some more meals that we particularly liked, I'll post those as well. But we'll get back to kind of our regular scheduled content for February. But I did want to get this one out to you today. Now, I have one clip in the beginning of this that is not actually from this week, and you'll notice that by my backsplash, because I have the new backsplash has just gone in. And this first one, I think it was from either week 1 or week 2, and it got lost, it didn't get in. I don't know exactly what happened. But anyway, it is one that I wanted to go ahead and include, because I immediately ran into an issue with this one, and that I wanted an ingredient that I didn't have. And I really wanted that ingredient because I wanted it to be right. But I came up with something else, and it worked out just fine. In fact, it worked out really well. So I did want to go ahead and include that one in here. So you'll see that one, and then you'll see a couple of meals from this abbreviated week here at the end of January. So as far as the Pantry Challenge goes, from my perspective, it still has not been terribly difficult. Now, I am going to do a little shop here for some fresh foods. Probably won't be till this weekend, but maybe the beginning of next week. I don't know. But I will need some eggs. Christine gave me some eggs, but I do need to get some more eggs. I will need some cheese. And all of my outdoor lettuce was killed during the little snowmageddon thing that we had. So David wants some regular lettuce. My kale, my curly kale, it did survive, but it's a little shell-shocked. So I think it's going to take a while to grow enough that I can reharvest it, because I did do that harvest right before the snow started. So downstairs I still have plenty of microgreens. I'll probably start another round of microgreens today. I'm going to do another round of the sprouts. So I have plenty of greens going. David really wants a salad, a regular lettuce leaf salad. So I'll probably get some lettuce today. And I don't know, oh, shallots. I am going to get a couple of shallots because I do like to make a shallot vinaigrette. And I started this whole thing without any shallots, which I tried using onions, and yeah, that wasn't quite the same. So I'm going to do that, maybe a couple of other things. I'm not getting any pantry items. I'm not getting anything really that I can produce here on my own. Unfortunately, I can't produce eggs or cheese or whatever, but that's the kind of stuff I'm getting. So I don't know if you can see behind me, I was so close to getting a new cooktop today. I'll try to put up a picture of that. It was off by like that much. So the carpenter has to come back, and who knows how long that's going to be. It's actually sitting behind you over in my living room right now on the floor. So you'll also notice that the cabinet doors are off. I'm hoping to get those back soon. They have been painting. In fact, they're still here painting the bases. They're working on the appliance closet now. So I probably have another week of on-site painting, and then I have to get my cabinets back and hardware. Hope I'm going to have a stovetop here soon. Ovens and refrigerator are now like the end of March. So anyway, it goes on, but it's worked out great. This team has been really super. They've been great about letting me keep my appliances up until the end, and that is truly the reason why we had the little snafu this morning with the range top, because had that been out, theoretically they could have figured that out beforehand. But anyway, I am thrilled to bring you this last week, and I will look forward to seeing you next week. And I think we're going to be getting the garden started. I know this week I have got plenty of seed sorting I need to do. I went on a little seed shopping spree. I did, well, 2. Let's say I did 2. I did one at the end of the year with a big sale, and then I did another one when I saw a post from M.I. Gardner, and I felt like his post, it was great. It talked about how seed prices were being raised unnecessarily, yada, 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 lots of stuff going on in the world, and he committed to leaving his prices the same. And that just struck me, and so I immediately placed an order. I didn't need, I'm glad I have, but I did that to support him. All right, as we go through today's meals, I want you to notice the bowls I'm using. Now, the first clip had the old bowls, the ones with all the chips in them. There. This is what I deal with every time I got to display a meal for you guys. I have to find a bowl without a chip. So now, thank you to the brand YYHY, I have these beautiful new bowls. They took pity on me, right? These are absolutely gorgeous. They're porcelain, they're microwave, dishwasher, and oven safe. I don't know that I'd put it in the oven, but it says it's oven safe. So anyway, thank you so much to the brand. They are available on Amazon, and through the end of this month, they are giving my viewers a total of 25% off. So whatever the Amazon price is, there may be a discount on it, whatever. If you enter my code, which is GROW 2024, as you check out on Amazon, right under where they list the credit card, how you're going to pay, there's a little thing that says special code or gift voucher or reward. That's where you put the code, and it is GROW 2024, and you'll get a total of 25% off the price of these bowls. They come in a set of 6, and I think they're generally listed around $35 or so. So enjoy the bowls, and thank you very much to YYHY. All right, so we're jumping right in here to what I ended up substituting. I was trying to make kind of a fried chicken on a kale salad, to the extent you can have fried chicken on keto. And what I wanted were some pork rind panko, basically is what they call it. So it's just really ground up pork rinds. And I didn't have either the panko version or the pork rind version, and so ordinarily I would have just run out to Kroger and gotten some, but we can't do that on the Pantry Challenge. So I found some almonds, and it turns out they worked out just fine. It still gave me the crunch, the flavor was good. I don't know, it worked great. So next time I'm just gonna make myself kind of stop and think when I want to go run out and get something, or better yet, send David out to go get something. But anyway, this ended up working great, so I just ground up some almonds, and then I'm going to do this, kind of like I would a fried chicken. So we're on to a kale salad. Now, I have a couple different kinds of kale in the garden, and, having gone through 8 inches of snow sitting on them for 8 days, this flat leaf kale here that you see here, I don't remember the name of it, but it did not survive. And that's okay with me, because I don't like that nearly as much as I like the curly kale. So next week when I start my seed starts for spring, I'm going to have to focus on which kale I'm planting. So I'm just going to get this chopped up. I did a simple little vinaigrette dressing. As I mentioned, I have no shallots. I would like to use shallots in this because they're not nearly as harsh as even the sweet onions. But I made kind of a Vidalia onion vinaigrette, let's call it. Although, it was all right. so that worked fine. So now I'm going to get ready to do the chicken. And these 2 chicken breasts, we meal prepped back in August during the Everybody Counts Challenge. So I just took the chicken, I sliced it in half kind of crossways, and then vacuum sealed it in these bags, put them right in the sous vide. They cooked, and then once they were cool coming out of the sous vide, they went right in the freezer. And these are just the easiest things in the world to have in the freezer, they come out and they defrost in, maybe 15 minutes in a bowl of water, 10 minutes in a bowl of water, and they're cooked through already. So I don't really have to do anything other than warm them up. So I'm just going to kind of dip it in the egg wash. I season the egg wash. If I were doing fried chicken, real fried chicken, I would have seasoned the flour. But in this case, I seasoned the egg wash. And then I'm going to dunk them in the almonds and put them in the pan. Now, it turns out I probably had my pan a little high for the almonds. They got a little more brown than I wanted. So fortunately, I didn't have to cook it long enough for the chicken to cook all the way through because it was already done. So this turned out a pretty quick and easy meal, and I got the crunch I was looking for. So, problem solved. All right, so we had some good meals this week, but this one was far above anything else. This was number one. This was David's favorite by a mile. His comment was, we need to have this once a week. Well, I don't know that we're really going to do that, but this one was really terrific. This started with, one of those TikTok viral something or other, and then the Keto Twins picked it up and turned it into a keto version. And then I took that and I'm just kind of making my own version. These are samosas, basically made with the Hero zero carb tortillas. And you just really put in any filling you want. Now I used kind of I don't really know what to tell you. It was spicy and it was sweet for my ground beef here. So I'm going to put my ingredients on the side. As you see, I'm not really measuring anything. The point of this is to make it very flavorful, of course, and to make sure it's dry when it goes in, because you don't want it soaking the tortilla and making that mushy. So I used a bunch of fun seasonings with mine. I think that the cinnamon and the onion jam really added so much to this, and I think chutney would be an outstanding thing to add to the inside of this. I ended up dipping mine in chutney, and that was just beautiful. All right, so right now I'm going to try to make these tortillas stick together. I'm going to make little triangle pockets so I can fill them with the meat. And what the Keto Twins did was they used egg whites by themselves, and that didn't work really well, so they added some xanthan gum. So that's what I did, and it worked fine. I mean, you'll see a couple of them came apart a little bit on the edge, but nothing opened up completely. So I had no spillover in the oil, nothing. So this worked out really well. I will say that it ends up taking me as long to get one wrapped as it does to have one cook. So had I known that was going to be the case, either I would have done them all before I put one in, or I would have gotten a smaller pan so that I could keep the level of oil up, because you'll see it really kind of takes down the level of oil. And as you know, avocado oil is so expensive these days. I probably didn't use as much as I should anyway. So this is really about seeing the method of this, and then you can turn this into, you could do taco meat and cheese, make it a Mexican style, and then dunk it in salsa or guacamole. You could make it a pizza version and do pepperoni and cheese, or I don't know, whatever you, cheese and mushroom or sausage and cheese or whatever, and then use a marinara as a dipping sauce. That would be so good. That's probably what we'll do next. You could make it a Philly cheesesteak. They have that really thin sliced meat sometimes at Costco. You could chop that up with some, I don't know, I would use onions, maybe even peppers, and then put some Monterey Jack with it. That would be excellent. You could make it all veggie one. I think that samosas are typically filled with like potatoes and peas or something. I don't know. Anyway, you could just make it all veggie if you want. You could make it kind of like an egg roll and do, crunchy veggies and shrimp, or crunchy veggies by themselves, or maybe with chicken. I would put chicken salad in there. I don't know how that would turn out with the mayonnaise, but I kind of think it might be good. So oh, you know what? You could also even go the dessert route. Use some of your pie filling that's on your pantry shelf and make it, like an apple pie turnover kind of thing. Oh my gosh, that would be fantastic. Or a peach pie, like a hand pie kind of thing. So quick and easy. Or you could put in maybe ricotta cheese and honey and, I don't know, a little lemon zest or maybe some fresh fruit. There's so many options with this. It's just, I don't know. I just think it's brilliant. So anyway, we'll probably see these more as we go on. All right, so there's my little triangle samosa, and I'm just going to put some meat in that. You do want to make sure that you leave enough space at the end. It is a little bit difficult to get these to stick together. So I did the egg wash again, and then I crimped them with a fork, like you would do with a pastry. And it worked fine. So as you'll see, this ended up making enough filling for 4 whole tortillas, so 8 samosas, 4 whole tortillas. So I ended up having 2, and I had a little bit of chutney. I think it was mango chutney. It was mango chutney that I dipped it in. That was fantastic. And quite honestly, I could have put that in there instead of the onion jam, but I had a jar of onion jam open in the fridge, so I went ahead and used that. It was so good, having a little bit of sweetness in there. It was really terrific. So I had 2 of these, and my husband had 5. So I gave him 3. He came back for 2 more, and we ended up splitting the last one the next morning with our eggs, and it reheated beautifully. I just put it in the pan to crisp it up, before I put the eggs in there, and it was just as good as it was the night before. So this is something you should definitely think about trying. See, we're going to try this here. David is hovering, has been this entire time. He's just really dying to get into this. He thinks this was the best thing he's had in ages. So here we go. He gets the big piece. It is delicious. It really is fantastic. So anyway, I'll just let you watch the process for a minute. So as I mentioned, I'm not following a recipe for these. It's just about the method. So I wouldn't even know how to write a recipe down below. I did put the ingredients I used on the screen, so you can screenshot that if you like. But really, just do what sounds good to you. Do what you have in your fridge. This is one of those things where so many different things would just be perfect. So let's just take this method, add your flavors, add what you have, and come up with something fun, and let me know what you come up with. Because this to me is it's now like, I don't know, the hack of the week kind of thing. And I think we'll continue to do this many times over. And if David has anything to say about it, we'll do it once a week. So I don't know about that, but we'll see. It was certainly a good one. So I'm just going to serve it with a little microgreen salad. These are the same microgreens that, I planted them, the first week of the challenge, I think, and they're still going strong, and I still have some in the fridge, and I still have plenty going downstairs. Exact same thing. So, don't discount microgreens. It doesn't all have to be lettuce or whatever. I know David likes his lettuce, but microgreens, I get so many more vitamins and minerals in, and it's just so easy to keep a hold of. So that's my little plug for microgreens. All right, next up, I'm getting something else out of the freezer that has been in there since July. We had a barbecue, I think it was on the 4th actually, and I did a whole bunch of beef kebabs, and they were really terrific, but I had made so many and I just didn't eat all of those. So I stuck a bunch of them in the freezer, and like a numbnut, I didn't portion them out into, normal dinner size servings. I just put the whole bag in the freezer. Anyway, one of those things where I keep having to relearn that lesson. So we had a million of them left. Otherwise, I would not have cooked this many at one time. But in fact, I really would have liked to have done these in the air fryer because it was a very cold night. But I had so many, it probably would have been, I don't know, 5 or 6 rounds on the air fryer, and I didn't have the time or the patience for that. So poor David took one for the team and went out into the cold and grilled these, and then of course didn't want to go back, so they got a little overdone, but that's okay. They were still good, super flavorful, because they'd been in the marinade for so long. Even though they were frozen, they were just kind of covered in marinade, and they were really delicious. So again, I did this with a salad, and it it just really doesn't get much easier than a microgreen salad. So there's my mix. I have peas in there, I have sunflowers, I have arugula, I have mustard, all the same things I've had all month because it's the same set of microgreens. And then I found in the garage refrigerator a thing of goat cheese feta, which we had not broken into yet. So it's the first time I've had that, and it was really pretty good. I was thinking I was going to put it in the salad and toss it, and then I realized that although I would normally use a white balsamic vinegar for this, so I didn't discolor the cheese, I was out of that upstairs, and it was dark and it was cold, and I didn't want to go back downstairs to get it. So I just used a regular, brown balsamic vinegar, and I knew that that would turn the cheese an unpleasant color. So I took the cheese back out so I could toss the salad and then put the cheese on top so it would stay pretty and white. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just so simple, especially when you grow your own greens. It's just so simple. So as you saw, we had so many beef kebabs that we had them for breakfast and lunch the next couple of days. This is the next day. I'm going to turn them into dinner. This is also the first time I'm getting to do prep on my brand new island. And the very last time I used this old cooktop, because the next day it went away and I still don't have a cooktop yet. But anyway, this worked out so beautifully, having the prep area right there next to the cooktop. I don't have to pick everything up and hope I don't spill anything on the way over. So this worked great. So I had some peppers and onions from last year's garden, again, that we meal prepped back in August. And I just sliced them up rather, and put them in a food saver bag, a vacuum bag, and vacuum packed them, threw them in the freezer, kind of in individual dinner size portions. And I just threw them in frozen. It is so easy. It just doesn't get any easier than that. So I'm also using the Hero tortillas again. We are really liking these. So for month 2 of the Pantry Challenge, I'm going to go ahead and order another round of the bread and the tortillas, because those are my favorites. I know David would like some more hamburger buns. I'll probably get some more of those. But we just don't eat hamburgers that often. But we definitely do the tortillas. As you know, we do the tortillas quite a bit, and I really enjoy these. So what I'm putting in here, it will be the peppers and onions and some cheese. I think the only cheese I had left was mozzarella. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. It was just fine. I mean, Monterey Jack or Pepper Jack or something like that would be terrific. But mozzarella worked just as well. So I'm going to get this served up. Took me a second to get it off. Things were falling out. But this turned out to be terrific. So I'm calling this a cheesesteak quesadilla. Still trying to finish those little guacamoles from the garage refrigerator. But this was great. Again, David loved it. I should have made him a second one. I didn't think about it, but I should have done that. One was plenty for me. But again, this is something we'll do often. I mean, I really kind of do it anyway, but to have the Pantry Challenge has really, I think, gotten me to focus on making better use of everything I have. And that's really what I'm doing with this. So I'm using the guac that I needed to use. I'm making sure that I use all the things that I meal prepped. I am making sure that we finish the steak bites for something other than just, beside the eggs in the morning kind of thing. So this has been great, and I've really, really enjoyed this year's Pantry Challenge, and I'm looking forward to February. And you will see some highlights from that. And that's it. We have wrapped up this first month. Like I said in the beginning, I will keep you posted on how it's going as we go throughout the second month. I'm going to continue to do it. I'm not going to produce these single topic videos every week. I'll just kind of fill you in. And if I do have one where we have a lot of good meals or something, I may post that. But for now, we're going to get back to our regular content. And I'm very much looking forward to that. I really want to get back to canning. I have been hesitant to can even for recipe testing purposes in this environment where I have dust. I mean, you can kind of see, I can see sawdust kind of floating around the air. And I just don't want to, risk getting that in a jar. But anyway, I'm hoping that the sanding, the reason they have to sand so much is the painting of the cabinets. So the kitchen sanding was one thing, but the appliance pantry sanding is a whole different ballgame because that's all fresh wood. And so apparently it requires a lot more sanding. So I spent about 3 hours this morning with the screaming sander going off in here. So anyway, I am hoping that I will be able to can, maybe not by next week, but hopefully by the following week, and we can get back to that because I'm kind of having withdrawals. I did do some pork roast. I had shown you that in my freezer when we started all of this. It was a prepared pork roast from Costco. I had wanted to freeze dry it. When I cut into it, there was way too much fat to freeze dry. So I did end up canning that at 11:30 one night as I'm trying to do everything kind of in a vacuum so that no dust gets in my jar. So I hope everything there is okay, but I can't wait to see you next week, and we're going to talk about the garden. So as far as the kitchen goes, I probably have 3 more weeks of chaos in here. I think I have 3 more weeks of chaos, and then I have 6 more weeks until my last couple of appliances come in. So the last thing to come in will be the ovens, which were supposed to be first, but somehow now they're last. The ovens and my refrigerator. So I will do the full tour and show you everything once I get all the appliances in, but hopefully in 3 weeks it'll be a little more sane around here and we can just do some regular videos. I either try to do this when they are gone to lunch or when they have left for the day, which means it's dark in here and I'm tired, although I'm tired now anyway, so we'll see. All right, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next week. I appreciate you. Bye-bye. It says there, microsafe, safe, no, harder. It's way too early for me to be doing this. All right, let's start over. Bye-bye. Oh, forget the bye-bye. What is wrong with that?